Lyrics of the Lost.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to episode 21. Now, you're not impressed by lengthy introductions and small talk before the show, so I'm just going to shut up and hand over to award-winning comedian and TV personality Peter Helliar.
Oh, wow.
For a short intro.
Thank you, Pete. That's great. Lyrics of the Lost podcast. I haven't heard that podcast, but I'll attempt to check it out. And fans, if you love movies, it sounds like Pete loves his movies too. So check that out.
Oh, nice. How's that, Dave?
That's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
It's true too. We do somehow talk about movies quite a lot for a show that's about pop music lyrics. So, great that Pete picked up on that.
It's true.
Without even listening.
He's a very clever, intuitive guy.
Yeah, those are the sort of amazing perceptions, and that's why he gets the big bucks.
Yeah,
and a beautiful human being too.
Sure.
Now, down to business.
Oh,
episode 21. Sorry,
I forgot to wish you happy birthday. That's all. Happy birthday.
Oh, Dave. Oh, thanks. That's so sweet.
Mm.
Yes, it was my birthday today. And still is. But, we don't have time for that, okay? Enough.
It's a bumper birthday special.
Not really. No, not really. Pretty regular.
Yeah, okay.
But thanks, everyone. Now, down to business. Episode 21 is this.
That don't impress me much.
That don't impress me much.
Yeah, me either.
No. By Shania Twain, 1998. That was the initial very country-sounding version, I've learned. Very country music sounding. But then in 1999, they re-recorded a pop dance version, which is the one we all hear on smooth radio in our workplaces against our will. Written by Shania and then-husband Bobby John Mutt Lang, who sounds like a good old country boy.
Yeah.
But he's actually South African. And that's why the early drafts of this song started with, "Yeah, we are not impressed by you, Brad Pitt. We don't like your sort of people around our townships, my friend." Then they rewrote, of course. And I think Shania is actually Canadian, but that's close enough.
You're totally Canadian. And it sounded a bit like Mutt there had spent quite a bit of time in Germany.
Well, I think isn't the Danish who were the Boers. That's where the Afrikaans accent comes from. It's Denmark, it's not too far from Germany, is it?
I think it's Dutch, and I
Dutch. Oh,
how dare you refer to the Danes as boring?
Oh gosh, as boring? No.
Yeah, you said they're all boars.
No, boas, as in boa constrictors.
Ah, a bunch of snakes.
Bunch of nasty snakes. I don't know that we've got any listeners in Denmark. So
you can say what you like.
Yeah, that's right. The Dutch from Dutchland, and Germany was called Deutschland, so that's very close.
Still is.
Dutch and Deutsch.
Yep. Dutchland, famous for their tiny pancakes.
Is that right?
Well, little Dutch pancakes.
Pikelets.
Yeah, no, little poffertjes.
Okay.
Come on, you must have had a little pancake from a van at a market.
Well, I've had, what are those things?
Goslamé?
Goslamés. Yes, they're kind of pancakey and very tasty too.
So think of those, except much smaller and round, with no meat or cheese, made entirely of pancake batter with maple syrup. And that's basically it.
Sounds like a pikelet.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let's all hop aboard the Shania Twain.
Hey!
In the lyrics, Shania describes three self-absorbed men that don't impress her much. We've got a man who is a know-it-all.
Okay, so you're a rocket scientist.
We've got a man obsessed with his looks.
Okay, so you're Brad Pitt.
And then another man obsessed with his car.
Okay, so you got a car.
Yeah. So 3 stories. Not unlike the Crash Test Dummies. That had 3 stories as well. Interesting. Or not. So I was initially kind of appalled by the relentless negativity and judgmental attitude that Shania displays in this song. Nothing's good enough for Shania. But then also, I now realize, at the same time she's kind of being very inclusive, ultimately saying it doesn't matter that you're not smart, that you've got bad hair, that you're not Brad Pitt, and you don't have a car, so long as... Have you got the touch? So long as you can touch Shania the right way and keep her warm in the middle of the night. Those seem to be the only potential deal breakers that she sets, which is quite open and nice. She could probably afford to be a bit more selective, even.
She could get a cat and a blanket.
That would probably fit the bill too.
Yeah.
Do the job. Well, yeah.
Problem solved. Thanks very much.
Has the cat got the touch, though? I mean...
Well, they like to touch you.
The thing about the touch of a cat is it's kind of like the touch of a funnel web spider. They've got fluffy, soft bits, but also very sharp, nasty bits.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like that scene in Scarface, too. First you get the touch, then you get the power, then you get the Shania woman. Then if you're lucky, Shania might say hello to your little friend.
Ooh.
Hoo-ha! Terrible. I was thinking we could confidently predict that Shania won't like James Bond movies because he's good looking, his hair is always neat, always has a fast car, and he's quite the know-it-all.
Yes.
There was always a scene with James Bond reporting to headquarters, and M would ask him something like, "Pay attention, Bond. What do you know about bejeweled eggs?" And Bond would say, "Ah, yes, the Fabergé eggs, first designed by Carl Fabergé for the Prince of Estonia on the occasion of his first vasectomy in 1929, if I'm not mistaken."
Ah, yes.
So, yeah, not a rocket scientist, but definitely a know-it-all.
Yeah.
She's not hanging out for the next Bond film, doesn't care who the next Bond is going to be.
So Shania is kind of the opposite of Moneypenny because she was overly impressed with all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Shania Twain would she be like Pussy Galore, maybe? Because she was like, I think she fell for James Bond as well. She, pointed a gun at him a few times, but I think eventually slept with Sean Connery in a haystack in a barn.
You pretty much described every woman in a James Bond film. Initially, they point a gun at him, then they have sex with him.
Yeah.
May not be in a barn, could be in a spaceship, could be on a boat. Yeah.
Or if they don't point a gun at him initially, they're on his side, but they have a wall of professionalism that James Bond just does not respect. Doesn't respect any boundaries in the workplace, and yes, he makes short work of that, and it's just he's a court case waiting to happen.
Sure is. Shocking.
Elon Musk probably would be a little bit out of the running as well with all his cars and rockets. But then Shania, she didn't say anything about very rich men, so she might be impressed by that.
That's very true. I don't think Elon claims to be a rocket scientist.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure he still takes credit for all the achievements, though.
Sure.
Yeah. And he's also blown so much money on Twitter now. I don't know if he's got anything going for him. Hope you're okay, Elon.
Not really bothered, to be honest.
Somebody should maybe do a welfare check on him, though, just in case.
Well, send him a tweet.
You can send him a tweet. That's true. Yeah, he loves those.
Yeah.
Actually, the last of the 3 guys in the song, his story ends, "Okay, so you've got a car," says Shania, before adding,
"That don't impress me much."
"But what if the guy's car is the Subaru Impreza?" Then, yes?
I was about to say, that don't impress me much, but no, just carry on.
That don't impress you much.
No.
But it's called the Impreza. It must impress.
It's very impressive. Yes.
Up and down the highways, you can be impressing all around the country.
Yeah.
But have Got the touch.
Have you got the touch? Well, the Impreza range features your choice of cloth or leather-appointed interior trim. And who doesn't like the soft touch of cloth? They make clothes out of it, out of the stuff.
That's true.
Or clothers, as I pronounce them. Lovely clothers.
Yeah.
And equally, the luxuriant touch of leather is certain to impress Shania as you whisk her away for the weekend after one of her hectic sellout performances. Although the somewhat cooler touch of leather maybe that won't keep Shania warm in the middle of the night.
Unless you've got seat warmers. So
Oh, yeah, seat warmers, that's true.
my car that is not a Subaru Impreza
Mm,
has leather seats
right.
with electric seat warmers. So if you're enjoying the touch of leather
Mm.
by obviously driving with no pants on, but it is a touch chilly, you can warm yourself.
Wow.
You can keep yourself warm in the middle of the night.
Can you retrofit those to a Subaru Impreza? Don't know.
Might be a bit of a fire hazard.
Mm.
Yeah. The downside is that it does feel like you've wet yourself.
Oh, right. Yikes.
Yeah.
Unexpected warmth.
Yeah, so there's warmth spreading through your trouser area.
Golly.
Yeah.
But alternatively, you can also just turn up the heat on the Impreza's fan-assisted ventilation system, which at the twist of a dial, you can just direct at Shania's cold feet or her face, or even both at once. Yes. And once that takes the edge off the cold, you can prevent Shania's beautiful skin from chapping and her hair from drying out by redirecting it, the warm air up at the windshield instead, and then it will sort of swirl over and down the car's interior, sort of indirectly enveloping you both in a cozy, warm bubble. So, that should work quite well. And that's now the time to take off your gloves and demonstrate that you've got the touch by offering to touch Shania in sensible and mutually consenting ways.
And I guess while you are touching her and keeping her warm, you may fog up the window a bit. So the fan-assisted window demister will be helpful there.
The demister, yes, you could certainly use that. Yes, it's very important that you do pull over safely before you begin touching Shania. Yeah, handbrakes on, and you could also, make sure you've adjusted the dial to introduce fresh air as well as recirculated warm air, and that'll keep Shania refreshed, and will also keep the windows from fogging up, so that any pedestrians outside who may or may not be engaged in dogging can see perfectly well inside. And even if they're not part of the lifestyle, you want people to, at least glance in occasionally and be impressed that you're with Shania, even if Shania is less than impressed with this whole thing. Yeah.
She may prefer the window to be fogged up.
She might. And she's been quite coy too about, exactly what sort of touch she's looking for. We don't know if it's the light, static, sustained touch of a fingertip or a vigorous whole hand rub. We just don't know. She's very mysterious. But I think to solve all of Shania's problems, we just need a guy with a Subaru Impreza, with the right upholstery and a mastery of the ventilation system, and who's a bit touchy-feely in just the right way, and that should have this whole thing sorted. Or a cat, as you mentioned, but there's problems, with cats.
True. She may be allergic.
Yeah, she might not be. I don't think she's a cat person. I get that. I get the feeling, farm girl type person that she is, country, she'd probably prefer to, have a horse in the bed with her or something, or a dog.
An entire horse or just a head?
Well, that just entered my mind as well. Yeah, they didn't really address that in The Godfather. The guy with the horse's head in his bed, I bet he must have felt like he'd wet himself. All that warm blood sort of seeps up. Unless they drained the head before they put it in his bed.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The logistics don't bear thinking about, really.
Yeah.
It's not subject for a family audience.
No. And what Do they make it clear what they did with the rest of the horse?
No. I would assume it's just left in the stable in a big puddle. Poor thing.
Yeah. Should we talk about the song?
Yeah. We digress.
Can I ask you a question about this? The way the song's structured, is it the case that there's kind of meant to be a twist in each verse? Like the first verse,
Twist.
there's this know-it-all guy who thinks he's a genius, blah, 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 blah. And then it turns out he is actually really smart. He's a rocket scientist. And then the second one, a good-looking guy who's got the perfect hair. And then, shocking twist, turns out he's Brad Pitt. Is that how you think it works?
Wow. No, I didn't consider that at all.
Oh, right.
Whether it's literal at the end of each story.
Yeah.
You are a rocket scientist. You are Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Well, certainly you have got a car is not a twist.
Well, no, I was a little disappointed in that in that third verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thought, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what I thought. You've got this twist. So the first verse,
You're a regular, original, know it all.
probably a guy that we would consider to be a mansplainer now, or possibly a manscaped man-spreader with man flu, who's also a mansplainer.
There's a lot of man things, yeah.
Yeah.
These days.
And then, as I say, he turns out to actually be a genuinely smart guy.
I think she concedes that.
Yeah.
You've got being right down to an art.
It just wears her down, his constant being right. But then if she looked at it another way, how does her constantly being wrong, affect him? That must be quite irritating as well.
I think he's a very tolerant guy.
Yeah.
To me, the question was, like, he's a very smart guy, but is he sticking to his area of expertise? Right, so he's a rocket scientist. And she doesn't say whether he's obsessed with being right about thrust-to-weight ratios or heat-insulating layers.
Right.
Or whether he's insisting on telling her how to write catchy country-based pop songs. And maybe that's what's pissing her off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's got her own theories about rocket science. She's built a few model rockets at home, and she reckons, she's dabbled.
Yep.
And sometimes a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. And he might be, very cruelly shutting her down. So, a potential, interest, hobby, career in rocket science for Shania might have been snuffed out very early there.
Yeah, true. And I would say if you have a little knowledge and you're building rockets, that is a dangerous thing.
If you've got access to that.
Yes.
And let's face it, American folk, they do have access to all sorts of fireworks and firepower.
Yeah.
Sure, you could make a very dangerous thing.
Indeed.
And he's probably thinking, well, how's this going to reflect on me when this explodes in her face? And, I'm the nearest rocket scientist, and people are going to think very poorly that I didn't step in.
Well, exactly.
So, yeah, he's being blamed by Shania for just keeping her safe.
Exactly. And I think it would ruin his professional reputation if he was present when Shania blew her own face off with a rocket.
Yes. Yeah, that's not good.
No. So, sticking with this first verse.
Yes.
I would like to say straight away that I fully support Shania's right to choose whomever she likes to keep her warm at night.
Sure.
As you know, we've documented a lot of sexual misconduct, mainly by men.
Yeah.
On this podcast. So it's quite refreshing to have a song in which a woman's saying no to blokes who don't, meet up to her requirements.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel that by taking this attitude, Shania is limiting herself. And as someone who spent 8 years at university studying science and has subsequently worked in science or medical-related jobs since then, I feel like I should be a spokesman and speak up in defense of the brainy, socially awkward, sciencey types.
Fair enough. But if I could paraphrase Shania.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're all right.
Don't get her wrong. She thinks you're all right. Okay? You're still in with a chance. You just have to demonstrate that you've got the touch and the warmth. So,
well, I'll get to that, but I think she should be thinking a bit more than just all right. So I think she's underestimating the value of a science nerd.
Well, a lot of people do these days.
Yeah, well.
Climate science,
exactly.
Renewables.
Yes, pub trivia.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes. See, you might have people who know the flags of the world, obscure Britpop hits of the 90s, who won the 2015 Australian NRL Grand Final, North Queensland Cowboys, if you're interested. But who are you going to call on when you need to know the name of the atmospheric layer above the stratosphere?
Oh, that's a tricky one, yes.
Yeah.
You need a rocket scientist.
You need a rocket scientist. The answer is the mesosphere for those who are playing along.
The mesosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, of course. It was just above your stratosphere.
It was literally just on the tip of my stratosphere.
Yep.
Gosh, yes, that would be a very handy special subject to have on your team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By rejecting the smart guy for appearing to be a bit of a wanker, I feel that Shania is propagating a dystopian revenge of the nerd style worldview, where she's pitting the smart guys against the jocks and the cool people. I think this guy just appears to be a bit of a show off. He's probably just showing off in his kind of awkward way, overcoming his crippling social anxiety.
Yeah.
He's trying to impress her, and she's just knocking him down.
Yeah, she needs to make some allowances for, the sort of social skill deficit that someone who's concentrated for so long on getting these qualifications.
Yeah.
There's going to be drawbacks in other areas.
Yeah,
a bit of an allowance wouldn't go astray.
Exactly. I believe the nerds and the cool kids need to work together to build a better world.
Together? Yeah, that's a lovely thought.
Just like in Beauty and the Geek. I don't know if you've seen that.
Well,
so you get.
I have seen a bit of that.
Yeah,
yep. Mm-hmm.
You have your nerdy Poindexter types, and they're paired up with beautiful but less well-educated women, and they've got to complete challenges, answer quizzes, and everybody.
And of course, Shania could give you a makeover. That's a key part of the program too.
It really is. And if there's one thing we've learnt from that is that when they give the geeks a better haircut and a nice suit, it usually turns out that they're pretty buff anyway.
Oh, well.
So it's a win-win and an extra bonus for Shania.
And if there's a geeky girl, when the handsome guy's there, she's actually just got to take off her glasses and shake her hair out. And
happens all the time.
That old trope.
Yeah. So if you can get past that social awkwardness, I think you'll find that your lonely, nerdy guy is going to be only too happy to keep you warm in the middle of the night if you give them a chance.
But maybe she's trying to sleep, and and he's all nice and warm, but he's explaining the thermodynamics of what's happening, and she's just trying to sleep, and it's driving her up the wall.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But he's probably been quite starved of intimacy, and probably doesn't know that many actual women.
Yeah,
I think really when you get down to it, he's probably quite grateful for the opportunity, and will try really hard to keep you as warm as possible, as often as he possibly can. And he's going to be very eager to please you when he's sharing his warmth.
You have to wonder how they even got together, to be honest.
Well, true.
What scenario was there that they came together? Unless, she's out in the country riding horses and stuff, and she stumbles upon a rocket testing area site. Maybe she stumbles upon, Elon Musk retrieving a SpaceX rocket or something. And
he's probably out there in the field. He's launching his rocket. Maybe something's gone wrong. There's been an explosion. He's broken his glasses. He can't see. He picks himself up, puts the glasses up to his face, and there in the distance, Shania.
It's a movie that writes itself.
It is. And see, he's been blown up, but he's also quite socially awkward. He doesn't quite know how to deal with this situation. So he falls back on telling her about power to weight ratios.
And he might, if his glasses are broken, he might actually think Shania's actually a leopard.
In that, yes.
Not just wearing a leopard onesie in the desert, but
that's a strange video.
Maybe he thinks she's in fact one of those furries. You hear about just someone from a Comic-Con that's gotten a bit lost and wants to be some sort of mutant leopard superhero. Yeah. Anyway, weird. Hard to imagine them getting together in the first place.
True.
Yeah. So maybe she's got to worry about actually meeting a rocket scientist before she immediately. It's like she's already considered the concept of meeting a rocket scientist in her head and has already dismissed him. Yeah. It's like this never happened.
It's remarkably like that. I have one more point about rocket scientists, and then I'll allow you to move on. It turns out that being a rocket scientist might not be all that impressive anyway. I found a study published in the British Medical Journal using an online test called Cognitron's Great British Intelligence Test.
Ooh.
That tests planning and reasoning and memory and attention and emotion processing abilities. And they compared aerospace engineers, which is literally rocket scientists.
Close.
Yep.
Right.
And they compared them with neurosurgeons. And overall, the two groups weren't very different. Neurosurgeons were, on average, a bit better at the problem solving, and the aerospace engineers were a bit better at mental manipulation.
Ooh.
But when they compared the results to the general population, the only differences were that the neurosurgeons were faster at problem solving and slower at memory recall. And rocket scientists were no better than anyone else.
Blimey.
Yep. So based on that, rocket scientists don't impress me much either.
Yikes. Well, I wonder what sort of intelligence test this was. Maybe the fault is in the testing.
I found it and tried some of it. It was very hard. I gave up.
Okay. So it's not a case of remembering man, woman, TV, camera, and repeating that later.
No.
Okay. So that's it for the first story then. Any thoughts on the other two stories?
Well, yes. So I was interested in Brad Pitt.
Well, lots of people are.
Well, that's my point. Apart from Shania. The first thing is, the implication was that Brad Pitt's not only very good looking, but also very vain.
Yeah.
Obsessed with his hair. Is he? I don't know.
I haven't seen any real examples of that. Although, I just remembering now, I do remember a series of photos online being shown of how Brad Pitt, whichever current girlfriend he's with, actually starts to look like them. Has hair like Jennifer Aniston and when she's with her and on, and which actually suggests the reverse. Not that he's self-involved, but he's actually very involved with his partner at any given time, and his subverts his own self-image to basically accessorize their image.
Yes. Although, are we sure that he's not forcing them to look like him?
Well, I'm pretty sure Jennifer Aniston had the Jennifer Aniston look before he came along.
That's true. She was kind of famous for that, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
For looking like Jennifer Aniston.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Gwyneth was first, wasn't she? Well, the first notable one.
Yeah.
There could be some debate there as to who stole whose look, but
yes.
Yeah. I mean, given the business that he's in, he's got to have some concern for his moneymaker, being all of his looks, basically, and his physique. So, I don't think that's fair to judge him as... No. But I became quite interested in why women find him attractive. Even if Shania's not that impressed with him herself, she's obviously picked Brad Pitt as an example, right? So as one does, I turned to the internet. So somebody called Stephanie Anello, writing on Quora, said, I can't speak for most women, but I go crazy for Brad Pitt because I love his eyes, his scar on his face, his body. I hope he is as cute and stupid as he was in California and True Romance. Cute and stupid in California? He was a serial killer.
Well, that's pretty stupid. And she goes on to say she just wants to climb all over him.
He had that bad boy thing going, I guess, as a serial killer.
Yeah. So his appeal seems to be that he's stupid and also slightly disfigured.
Right. I don't remember any scar that he has.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll look out for that.
Yeah. So someone called Lee Hadley says women are attracted to Brad Pitt probably because he's good looking.
Well, okay, that's a flat out statement. Okay. Yeah. Empirically beautiful.
Yes.
Yep.
They've tested it.
Not a matter of opinion.
No, he is good looking.
Yep.
That's totally objective.
He must have that golden ratio thing of the face.
Yes. And then I found a website called subcommunicationmastery.com. Which I think it's about like the subliminal messages you give out when you're trying to attract people.
Yes, I often just pull up flashcards really quickly while I'm talking. One might be a picture of a penis or a bird or, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, sure. You want them to be thinking about your penis without you actually
But hang on.
getting it out and showing it to
hang
them.
on, was that a bird? I think that was, I feel free and alive like a bird. And, and now I want a penis.
Now I'm thinking about penises.
Yeah, it's a great technique. You should try it.
Yeah. Well, this website promises you are about to learn the secret attraction patterns of the world's most attractive men.
Damn.
Yeah, and on this website, some guy called Gabe has written an analysis of a video interview. It's got Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie in it. So I pulled out some of the key points here. So this is what he says. He says, you are going to see Brad Pitt walking around feeling great. The way he moves his body, or in this case, the way he doesn't move his body. The way he just sits down is always going to seem to you as if he's having a very good moment. So he's good at sitting.
Right.
Point in his favor.
Nice. You can sit like you've got lots of potential for movement without displaying it.
Yes.
Like a coiled spring or
a
tensing up panther ready to pounce.
Yeah. Or leopard. Yeah. There's also a lot of stuff on there about feeling relaxed and at ease and injecting some high vibration energy into a situation.
Ooh.
And also some stuff about licking his lips.
Oh.
Which I found a bit gross. But apparently women are especially receptive to these little things. Licking your lips helps to build a frame where things are a little bit more sexual than if you didn't do it.
So licking your own lips, yeah?
Yeah. Well, yes.
To start with.
Yes. Apparently Gabe has tried this out for himself. And he found that by licking your lips and looking straight at a woman while you're doing it.
Oh, God.
You are giving her a huge sign that you are sexually attracted to her.
Yeah, a very huge sign. Possibly too huge.
Yes.
Possibly too much of a sign.
Yeah.
That's like a billboard.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a billboard in your pants.
Gabe doesn't go into how successful he's been using this technique, though.
But he's tried it. Okay.
Yeah. I have one more opinion. This is the opinion of huge_dick 429696666.
Okay. Hello, if you're listening.
Yes. Posting on the unpopular opinion page on Reddit.
Oh.
And I'm not sure whether huge_dick 429696666 is male or female, but
never know.
They have written, now he looks like an old man / hobo.
Oh.
I mean, his face is super square, eyes are hella close set, has a pig nose and tiny eyes. I guess his body was okay, but there's literally hundreds of better looking actors and musicians. So the contrasting viewpoint there.
Okay.
Sadly for Brad, last year, Shania replaced Brad with Ryan Reynolds in a performance of the song.
Possibly just because he was in the audience.
Well, possibly. But she's also gone on record saying she'd rather have Channing Tatum. So
yes. But then people have forgotten that this is actually an insult, not a good thing to be in the song, because she's saying that you're totally self-involved with your looks.
Well, true, but she's saying he is good looking. So it's a personal insult, but a kind of physical compliment, I suppose.
It's a double-edged sword, as most swords are.
Yes. Otherwise, it's a knife.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was wondering what other verses might have been written for this song in development that they may have had to cut for time. And that brings us to challenge time on the show, because
hello.
I challenged Dave earlier off microphone to see, basically challenged him to a Shania-off to see which of us can accurately guess other things Shania Twain is not impressed much by in the form of new lyrics for the song. So, Dave, if you're ready, we'll take it in turns.
Yeah, sure. So I've divided mine into two categories.
Okay.
One is unimpressive things that are specific to Shania.
Right.
And the other ones are just things that are generally probably wouldn't be very impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've just focused my mind on Shania, and I think I've gotten into her mindset, and I feel like I can think basically straight away as her now, as a reflex.
Sure.
The training has really kicked in.
Okay.
So I'll be doing mine quite seamlessly in Shania's very sassy voice. You can do yours in your own special style, Dave.
Sure.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. Okay, so you're Robert John Mutt Lang.
Oh.
That don't impress me much.
she's not very impressed with him because, on the one hand, he's internationally renowned producer of records by AC/DC, Def Leppard, Bryan Adams, Celine Dion, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
But also, on the other hand, he had an affair with her best friend. So that's not very impressive.
Oh, yes. Yes, that won't impress her much.
No.
But she got a bit of her own back and ended up with her best friend's first husband as well, who she's now with.
Yeah, so they swapped.
Yeah, exactly. She's got kind of a very good background for a country music singer. There's lots of turmoil to write country and western music about. But moving on, I'll have a go here. Okay, so you couldn't make it in real media and you've got a podcast instead.
That don't impress me much.
Ouch. Yes.
Ooh.
Shania would not swoon over us for this.
No. Mind you, in 1998, that would have been a lot more impressive than it is now.
Oh, gosh. That's true.
Yeah.
But projecting forward, I don't think she's into it. I don't think she's going to want to come onto the podcast and chat with us, although the invitation is there, Shania. If you just want to reach out, we'd love to talk to you about your experiences.
Yeah.
Your turn, Dave.
Okay, so you're Faith Hill, who, according to Women's Day, is feuding with Shania.
That don't impress me much.
Apparently, Shania is jealous that Faith appeared in the TV series 1883.
Oh.
And is also considered a proper country singer, where Shania is a kind of pop country.
Oh.
Yeah. But to be fair, Shania is also much better known. But anyway.
Yeah, I can't quite picture Faith Hill. Well, fair enough.
No.
Well, another one of those celebrity stoushes.
Yep.
Sad to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you've got a non-fungible token of a bored chimpanzee.
That don't impress me much.
So I think Shania's not going to go for NFTs or crypto. I feel like she likes more traditional stores of value and investment.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just don't get NFTs. They don't impress me much either.
No, and
No.
Shania's just that sort of plain, straight-thinking, straight-talking kind of person that you are too, Dave. I think she still carries cash, sure. Has a couple of credit cards probably, but I think she's probably still quite suspicious of PayWave, and she would never pay by waving an Apple Watch around in the air over anything.
No. She's probably got one of those wallets that insulates so that it cuts out the radio waves.
Yeah, she'd have some foil in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah. Okay, so you're Taylor Swift.
That don't impress me much.
Taylor Swift last year broke Shania's record as the female artist with the most weeks at #1 on the Billboard Country Artists chart.
Oh. The most weeks? I thought you said the most wigs. And, Shania's got that one in this video clip, but...
No, Shania's still got the most wigs, but the most weeks.
Nice.
To be fair, I am trying to spark rumours of a feud between Shania and Taylor.
Well, you'd have a hard time doing that because I watched on YouTube a video they did together for the start of I think it was the Country Music Awards, where they basically did a parody of Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, well, that's right. So Shania's so damn nice that she's already congratulated Taylor and tweeted that she's proud of her. So that one didn't work out. Okay. Your turn.
Okay, so you're a diseased parasite that wants to drink my blood.
That don't impress me much.
Yes, Shania caught Lyme disease in the early 2000s. While riding a horse, she got bitten by a tick, and the disease took away her singing voice for some time. No touring. And of course, it also brings a sort of chronic fatigue, which means Shania probably didn't have the energy to be impressed by anything.
No, that's true.
Even less stuff didn't impress her much. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you.
I actually had something similar. I've got one more Shania-specific one.
Okay, good.
Which is, okay, so you're a pig farmer.
That don't impress me much.
Shania's a well-known vegetarian, although recently, well, yes, but she was meat-shamed recently for eating vegan nuggets in a chicken shop.
Vegan nuggets in a chicken shop. Okay. Well.
Yep. Well, she's supporting the chicken shop by eating their vegan nuggets, I guess.
Sort of see, yeah.
So she was kind of, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so you can quote lots of lines verbatim from Monty Python, Blackadder, and the Young Ones.
That don't impress me much.
No.
No.
Doesn't impress many women at all. I think we eventually found that out in our mid-20s or something.
Yeah. And see our early discussion about Shania and nerds. So, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
dovetailing.
Yeah.
Yep. Your turn.
Okay, so you're Alistair Galpin, holder of many world records, including the greatest number of snails on his face for 10 seconds or more.
That don't impress me much.
Oh.
Alistair Galpin has broken 85 world records, including the largest bottle cap sculpture, the furthest surface journey in a male chastity device.
Are these all verified by Guinness or?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, tallest silver beet plant and the most rubber bands stretched over the face. 62 in 1 minute, if you're interested.
That would be painful.
Yeah.
Goodness. She's probably not that impressed by general record breaking.
No.
I can see that, sure.
I don't think she'd be happy with a guy with snails on his face,
Well,
frankly.
yeah, that doesn't create a good mental image.
No.
I feel Shania is maybe not impressed by gender identity. That's just a feeling.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright.
But your pronouns won't
Keep me warm in the middle of the night.
your pronouns won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. Not saying she's a transphobe. I feel like she's just about it. Unless you've got the touch. I mean, if you've got the touch, she's very interested to hear about your personal gender journey.
Yeah.
That's just a feeling. Just a feeling.
Do you believe that she would be impressed by J.K. Rowling's views, or?
No, I think she'd bridle a bit at. She's into horses. She'd bridle, bristle a bit at the harshness of some of J.K.'s pronouncements.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think Shania's like seeing how things settle in this sort of area. She doesn't want to insert herself into the conversation, and good on her.
Fair enough. Yes.
Do you have any more?
I have a few more.
Oh, good.
Okay, so you're Josh Evans, the world's highest ranked Mario Kart Deluxe player.
That don't impress me much.
Goodness. Mario Kart Deluxe.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
No, I
Yeah.
mean I've had the old Nintendo 64 and GameCube.
Yeah.
I know my way around a regular Mario Kart, but there must be a whole new generation of Mario Karts that I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys who likes to shine his machine.
Shania doesn't like someone who shines his machine or his Mario Kart potentially.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So maybe not impressed that you can drop a banana peel or throw a turtle ahead of you at another Mario Kart. Just a turtle shell, I think.
I don't know. Our Wii broke years ago.
Oh.
Can't remember anything about Mario Kart.
Okay, so you're a grown man who's into fantasy cosplaying.
That don't impress me much.
I think we have to assume that because of the other stuff she says at the end of the song. The volume fades away, but if you turn it up, you can still hear that Shania is still complaining.
You're Tarzan.
So you're Tarzan.
Captain Kirk, maybe.
Captain Kirk, maybe.
John Wayne.
John Wayne.
Whatever.
Whatever. So, it's like she's actually standing outside of a Comic-Con and shouting at the poor nerds in their homemade outfits, They spend a lot of time making those. It's not really fair, Shania.
No, and she is dressed as a cat, so...
That's right. Possibly a cartoon character or some sort of furry sexual fetish.
Yeah, double standards there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Pot kettle.
Indeed.
So, your turn.
Okay, so you're David R. Scott, the seventh man to walk on the moon.
That don't impress me much.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I just think,
Yeah.
if you're the first man, that's impressive. If you're the last man, that you're impressive. But if you're the seventh man, yeah.
Or maybe even top three.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's a fair call.
Yeah.
When you stop to think about it, of course, it would be impressive. But if you're just looking at the surface of it, if you're just introduced to someone,
Yeah.
it mightn't seem, overwhelmingly impressive. But
Well, and given her well-documented prejudice against rocket scientists, I feel like she wouldn't be that impressed with
of course, yes.
people walking on the moon anyway.
She's already rolling her eyes, probably.
Yeah. Pff, rockets. I suppose you used a rocket to get to the moon. Pff.
You don't want to hear my thoughts on thermodynamics, I guess. I won't even try to engage in conversation with you. Okay, so you start a new page in Microsoft Word by repeatedly hitting the Enter key instead of inserting a page break.
That don't impress me much.
That frickin' shits me.
I know, actually, I don't think Shania cares either way on that one. That's just something that impresses me as someone who gets to edit a lot of other people's documents.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So sorry, Shania, I didn't mean to drag you into that.
Okay, so you queued outside an Apple store all night to be the first to get a new iPhone.
That don't impress me much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't know how much of that still goes on, but it certainly used to be a very big thing. And so, yeah, someone who still does it, would be very unimpressive. Unless, it's a major new product launch. If there's a new something else, what could there be next? The new I'm looking around, the eye tissue. I don't know.
Bless you.
Yes, thank you. What else can I say? The new eye bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Eye lamp. Just talking rubbish now. Okay, so you're a 4th generation artificial intelligence language model.
That don't impress me much.
Yes, ChatGPT. I think that comes back again to being a know-it-all. She probably wouldn't be that impressed. But of course, I did have to check in again to ask the AI about this.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and it said,
"It wouldn't be appropriate to say that Shania Twain would or would not be impressed by me. While I don't have a personal character or material possessions to impress Shania Twain, if Shania were to use my services, I hope that my ability to understand and respond to questions accurately and efficiently would be helpful and meet her needs. My capacity to access vast amounts of information quickly and provide insights on a wide range of topics could potentially be impressive to Shania. However, this would depend on her individual needs and expectations."
But have you got the touch?
I don't have a physical presence or a sense of touch, so I wouldn't use that phrase to describe myself. Have you got the touch might refer to a person's ability to connect with others on an emotional or physical level.
Well, how would you keep her warm on the long, cold, lonely night?
I can suggest some general ideas such as cuddling under warm blankets, using a space heater or electric blanket, wearing warm pajamas, or drinking a warm beverage before bed. Ultimately, it is important to communicate with one's partner and understand their preferences and needs in order to provide comfort and warmth in a way that is mutually satisfying.
Lots of thoughts there.
Yeah. Yeah, and just a side point, I think it's a mark of the reach and influence of this podcast that shortly after the last episode was released, they did upgrade ChatGPT.
That's right.
In a way that was meant to make it less rude and less prone to just making stuff up.
I did extend the offer of the Shania-off challenge to our chatbot friend, and the best it could come up with was...
Okay, so you use your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth to prove you're ambidextrous.
That don't impress me much.
Impresses me.
Well, it is quite easy to use your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth. It's not too tricky.
No, I suppose if they were writing with it, that would be different. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe rethink your impressed reaction there, Dave.
I'm just too easily impressed.
I don't think you thought that one through. Yeah.
No, I apologize.
Well, we can move on now to other theories from the internet.
Ooh.
Nothing. Nobody's reading any further meaning into this song than is immediately apparent, it seems. I can't find anyone with anything to say. Not any discussion, really, of deeper meanings, different takes.
I think it's good that we're breaking new ground.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll release the floodgates now, and people who've been afraid to express their feelings on what's going on in the song might come forward.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're advocates, really, for lyric interpretation, investigation, holding people responsible for what they've written, all of this stuff.
Yes.
So let's move on again to our next segment, which is Misheard lyrics in this song, as reported at kissthisguy.com and amiright.com. So, first of all, I've got the line,
And all that extra old gel in your hair ought to lock it.
and all that extra hole gel in your hair ought to lock it, which is an odd-sounding line.
Yeah.
The syntax of it sounds
Yeah.
kind of odd when you say it. So, all that extra hole gel in your hair ought to lock it was heard as, and that extra old jail with your hair in a locket.
Extra old jail.
That extra old jail with your hair in a locket. And I imagine, it evokes somebody who's been sentenced to a hard old jail. They might have shaved their hair off to look tough when they enter the prison. But then they also put some of the hair in a locket to give to Shania. But it's not enough to keep her warm in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So
I'd say in general, that's not going to impress people.
not going to impress people, no. But it's a touching image, I think. Also, the line,
But you've got being right down to an art.
but you've got being right down to an art. That's in the know-it-all rocket scientist story.
Yes.
But you've got being right down to an art was heard as, but you're not getting right down to my heart, which is, I think that's perfectly interchangeable, actually.
Ooh.
Shania could be saying to Mr. Know-it-all that you're only engaging my mind up here in my head instead of in my heart, which is down here relatively, although the heart still very much in the upper part of the body, but certainly down from the brain, which is a pretty tip-top spot. Yes.
Yeah. Or their interaction is quite superficial.
Yeah.
He's only talking
Surface
about
level.
rocket science. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it works several ways.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. The line,
I can't believe you kiss your car goodnight.
I can't believe you kiss your car goodnight, from the third story. This was heard a couple of different ways. I can't believe you kiss your carpet at night. And also, another attempt at euphemism, perhaps. And also, I can't believe you kiss your carving knife. Fair enough. Sounds similar.
But that sounds like I can't believe you're a serial killer.
I can't believe you kissed your carving knife. Yeah, that would be a bit creepy.
Mind you, if you are capable of kissing your own carpet in the innuendo sense, that's actually quite impressive.
True. Because it would, yes. Moving on. Okay.
Please.
The line, that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night, was heard as, that won't keep me warm in the mirror all night. Or, as Americans would pronounce it, mirror. They seem to have a lot of trouble with the word mirror.
And Graham.
Graham.
Mirror and
Graham?
They always say
Graham?
Graham. Graham.
Yeah.
Or Craig. They always say Craig.
Craig, yes.
You say Greg or Craig?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But that won't keep me warm in the mirror all night. And that's kind of nice. It speaks to the cold reflection of a mirror, which is sort of a lifeless visual echo of reality, as well as the cool touch of the glass itself.
Ah.
Yeah.
But is that implying that Shania's like the mirror on the wall,
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah, so she's like she's trapped in a mirror.
Trapped in a mirror. Maybe like in the Phantom Zone of
yes.
Superman.
Yeah.
Lastly, the line,
You're regular, original, know-it-all.
you're a regular, original, a know-it-all. From the first story. That was heard as, you're, I reckon, a love engine on overhaul. And yeah, that kind of makes sense. Shania recognizes that the know-it-all rocket scientist is potentially a love engine, but due to his pursuit of science and knowledge, it's like his love machine is offline and awaiting an overhaul.
That seems like quite an insult if you want to tell someone their love engine needs an overhaul.
An insult? Well, it's plain speaking. It's blunt.
Your love engine's just not firing. It needs an overhaul. Maybe a rebore.
A rebore? Oh, God, you know more about cars than I do. Crikey. Yes. Well, I'm moving on to the notable achievements segment, rather. What's to say? Let's see. Well, it was quite successful, this song. Not her biggest song, but, quite successful. There's no Weird Al Yankovic parody, I'm afraid. On YouTube, though, there is a parody by a Donald Trump impersonator called That Don't Impeach Me Much.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, there's some funny lines in it, but it's not a very good impersonation of Trump, and the sound recording is pretty awful. But, worth a look. Worth more of a look than the other guy on YouTube, an Australian blokey type bloke that does a parody on his acoustic guitar called That Don't Impress Men Much, which seems like a sad incel reply whinge to me. It just made me sad. And that's all on YouTube, so check it out. Sure. I think we've touched on the music video. Note to Shia, nobody has been impressed by leopard print since 1982. Tone it down, girl.
Although animal onesies have become a lot more popular than they would have been in the late 90s.
That's true. Although I haven't heard...
Not usually worn in the desert.
No.
Yeah, no.
But yes, animal onesies as a sort of pajama thing.
Yes.
Very popular for a while. But quite a well-shot video, I thought. Spectacular lighting in the Mojave Desert, or the Mojave Desert, if you prefer, with its amazing, sunset lighting. Very, very nice.
Sure.
And in the video, Shania, in this leopard print onesie and carrying leopard print luggage, she's apparently stuck in the desert and trying very half-heartedly to hitchhike her way out. And men drive up to her in various vehicles, even a horse, to offer her a lift, but she rejects them all. This led one reviewer in a music magazine to say her chances of escaping that desert alive don't impress me much. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's weird, actually. When she sings the line, "Are you supposed to be Elvis or something?" It's this guy dressed as an Arabian on a Frisian horse, stallion.
Yeah.
Doesn't look much like Elvis at all.
No,
Unless there was a very un-PC Elvis movie, and it's quite possible. Called maybe, I don't know, Saudi Bikini Good Times or something, maybe.
Yes.
And Shania revealed the reason for using Brad Pitt's name in 2017. She said it was because there was a scandal back in the time with Brad Pitt breaking up with Gwyneth Paltrow, and there was a subsequent leaking of Pitt's naked photo in Playgirl magazine. And Shania was unimpressed by all the fuss, as she found it was normal to see naked people. I see naked people. So, I said before, Shania's got a very good background for country music. She had, there was an abusive father growing up. Husband ran off with her best friend. She runs off with her friend's first husband. And then she gets Lyme disease. So lots to complain about in country music for a good long time, I think. So anything else on that don't impress me much, Dave?
No, I think I'm done there. I did, in keeping with some of our previous episodes, try and find a connection with Yoda, and I failed.
Well, it was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, the closest I could find was Shania pictured with George Lucas at some awards show, but that didn't seem like a very close connection.
Oh, my God. Maybe she can meet up with rocket scientists then. If her and George Lucas can be in a photo together, anything could happen.
Well, that's right. Yes, exactly.
Well, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think you're all right, but I think we're also ready to put Shania behind us now. Get thee behind me, Shania, as Jesus would say. Or he might have said Satan.
Sure.
Whatever. Any sponsors to thank this week, Dave?
Yes. I'm not proud of this, but my contribution to this episode is brought to you by reality TV.
Oh, dear. Gogglebox?
Well, that too, but in the last few weeks, I have been sucked in by both Australian Idol and Married at First Sight.
Ooh, is this other members of your family dragging you into this as well?
Look,
you don't have to bring them into this, but, if you just want to spread the blame a bit, I can understand it.
Other members of my family may have instigated this, but look, recently I caught myself Googling for recaps on my phone.
Oh, God.
And I cannot blame anyone
It's a cry for help.
but myself for that. It is a cry for help.
Well, very brave of you to say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank Peter Helliar for his intro soundbite that he doesn't know I've actually used. Surprise! And thanks also for his fun movie podcast, which is called You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. He has big stars on that show, but you can also hear me very briefly in a couple of recent episodes. And while I'm cross-promoting, you can also see my driving and reaction skills on the popular Dashcam Owners Australia video. Let's take a listen. Wow! All right. I know this is not a visual medium, but we do like to spark your imagination at home, so just see if you can guess what the other driver was doing in that clip. That's from the opening of the February 2023 monthly compilation at Dashcam Owners Australia on YouTube. And you can hear and learn some lovely Australian swearing on those videos. I know one of our favourites here is there's a clip with a guy whose car is hit while he's on the phone to a friend, and he explains over the phone, "Oh, sorry, mate, I've just been arsed by a Very, very colourful language. Really paints a picture. And thanks also to ChatGPT again from OpenAI.
And no thanks to my dogs who have started barking.
They are barking, aren't they? Bad dog.
Yes, they are.
Bad dog.
Yes.
Boo. Boo. Stay.
Whatever. That don't impress me.
Lyrics of the Lost.